So what I'm going to do is ask you your name and your company,
Okay.
and what your company does.
Okay.
Shh. And you know that.
Yes, he does.
Hi, please give us your name and your company.
Yes. So I'm Kisha Brown, and my company is Justis Connection. That's Justis Connection.
So you were talking earlier about all of these attorneys and the whole program that you were involved in. Do you mind sharing with us what your company's all about and its mission and
I'd love
vision?
to.
Yes.
So Justis Connection is an online platform that promotes lawyers of color here right now in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. So I'm a lawyer by trade, and I kept having this recurring scenario from I feel like the minute I started law school, where somebody would say, hey, do you know somebody who does X, or do you know somebody who does Y? And then I would go ask for friends, maybe two of them would ask another friend, and then in a couple of hours or sometimes days, I'd have a name and number, right? And I'd be like, hey, try Tina, maybe she can help you. And I felt like we as lawyers of color, black lawyers in particular, were leaving one, money on the table by not having a concerted network that connected us better, and two, knowingly leaving our communities most vulnerable in the legal system that historically and continuously oppresses us. And so this gap between the black lawyer and the black community was something that not just bothered me, but was this pain point that I felt very driven to address.
But what kind of connection did you need? What types of businesses or people were you looking to connect with to be able to have these relationships that would be helpful?
Yeah, it's really everybody, right? For everything. Black lawyers address everything. We handle high-level corporate transactions. We are litigators. We work in family law, taxes, bankruptcy, criminal defense, agricultural law, animal law, adoption and foster care, everything you can imagine. Being able to tap into legal counsel is something that I think we haven't really fully availed ourselves of. We think of a lawyer as somebody who solely reacts in a crisis, and it's something that maybe is outside of our financial reach or out of our social sphere. But the reality is that no matter what our personal net worth income is as black people, we have less access to legal resources than our white counterparts. Mm-hmm. And so we interact with the law very differently, right?
So what is it that you do that's so different?
Well, no one else right now. Yeah,
right?
No one else is highlighting black lawyers of color. No one else. So you've got you've got other legal referral services, and they're online, and they profess to take your where you live and what the subject matter is, and they will give you a slew of 822 lawyers when you ask for a family lawyer in Baltimore County. And one, I believe that people want to have greater access to diverse lawyers, and two, they actually want the legal matchmaking process to be more personalized. So we use technology to make that process more efficient and effective. So that one, we're only going to send you initially 3 legal referrals that are looking at not just the subject matter and where you live, but potentially what your budget might be, right? How far from your jurisdiction? Because if I'm in Harford County, I don't need somebody in Fairfax, right, who just happens to be barred in Maryland. There's a difference of somebody who lives and practices in Prince George's being able to help you in a situation that will be handled in Prince George's courts. Mm-hmm. So we take all of these things into consideration when we make our legal matches so that it can be more personalized, which we believe will be better for both the potential client and for the lawyer.
So, but don't they have like the Bar Association and all of that? What happens with that? How is this so different than the Bar Association? So you have the Black Bar Association and you have the National Bar Association. So what's the difference?
Yeah, so Black Bar Associations are very critical, right? They have been the source for us as black lawyers to be able to connect, to meet, to strategize, to promote one another, but they're not focused on the business development of the lawyer. So this is solely about raising our practices, right? Building our business, boosting our brand. That's what we're focused on.
But you guys, I don't really see lawyers advertising.
Yeah.
Right? There's no investment dollars into like WKIM, right? there's no investment dollars in the traditional business sense, because it's been this very closed elite type of field, right? And so how do you dispel that so that it becomes commercialized, for lack of another word?
And you're spot on, right? And the fact that lawyers don't advertise in very visible commercial ways, and part of that is historically it was against our ethical rules to do so, but even now it's sort of looked down upon as lowbrow. And so you have some lawyers, right, who have the billboards and they've got the jingles and they're on black radio, right? And they do that because they know that many of us do not have access to those inner circles where lawyers reside, right? And so they are willing to exploit the visibility on their behalf, and quite frankly, on behalf of their networks, in ways that many black lawyers understandably do not engage in. It's very expensive to engage in that way, and it's also sometimes looks as if it's cheapening your stature as a lawyer and the work that you can deliver.
So, which comes first, the chicken or the egg, right? How do you continually attract clients if they don't know that you're there?
That's what makes it so hard, right? That's what makes really the work behind Justice Connection so critical in being that bridge between the black lawyer, the black community, and beyond, really. The business community, the corporate community, where those corporate dollars are very instrumental for black lawyers to be able to really take their business to the next level. And so we look to be that intermediary, to be able to market on behalf of those lawyers in the network, so that when you're thinking about where do I go for a family lawyer, where do I go for a business lawyer, where do I go for a mergers and acquisition lawyer, you don't have to think of one individual name. You just remember Justice Connection, and we make that connection for you.
All right, so Jacob Smith said, I want her contact information. So if you wouldn't mind giving us your email or your website or whatever.
I'd love to.
For Jacob Smith.
Yes, Mr. Smith and everyone else.
Right.
Definitely, we'd love for folks to follow us on social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram at Justice Connection. That's
Spell it, please.
JUSTIS Connection. So we're a different kind of justice. Think of what is just. Just is what you want it to be. And we want to meet people where they are to empower them in the law. They can also email directly, info@justiceconnection.com. And definitely go to our website, justiceconnection.com. We're also on Twitter, and you can friend us and follow us on LinkedIn as well. It's all under the same name, JUSTIS Connection.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Take
what a
care.
blessing.
Yes.